Peter Doocy is questioning the press secretary.
I would refer you to the Secret Service or the First Lady's office.
My last one. Is any part of the West Wing here just loving the fact that Republicans don't appear to be able to govern the one part of the government that they actually control?
Nobody's loving anything when we're not able to deliver for the American people. Nobody's loving that. When it is important for Congress to work, not for us, but on behalf of the American people. It is important to make sure that we meet the challenges of the American people. That's what's important.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Kevin McCarthy was the first Speaker of the House in U.S. history to be removed by a House vote, and it's sending MAGA morons over the edge trying to assign blame. MAGA was furious with McCarthy's backing of a spending bill that kept the government from shutting down. His actions were seen as a betrayal to his own party.
What we saw on Saturday should have never have happened. We're glad that a deal was made. We're glad that we're not in a shutdown. But House Republicans should have never gotten us that far. And so they are the majority in the House. They can fix this. They're creating the chaos. That is not helpful to the American people.
Doocy was in the White House press briefing room and tried to drag Jean-Pierre into the delusion, but it wound up backfiring in his face. The segment was a pathetic attempt by Doocy and Fox to try to sneak in something that MAGA viewers could get mad at. They wanted to portray Democrats as celebrating McCarthy's demise when nothing could be further from the truth. Jean-Pierre set Doocy straight, telling him that no one celebrates when the work of American people is not getting done. She said that's why we saw the president talk about student debt relief and talk about what else he's doing to give breathing room to the American people.
That's why you saw the president today talk about student debt relief and talk about what else he's doing to make sure that we're giving a little bit of breathing room to the American people. That's why you heard from the president yesterday talking about, or our announcement, talking about how we're continuing to beat Big Pharma so we can lower prescription drug costs for the American people. That's what the president cares about. That's what he wants to see. What can we continue to do to help Americans as they face really tough challenges? So this is not, we're not loving it. It is not helpful to any American across the country.
She drove her point home by asserting that's why we heard the president talking about how we're continuing to beat Big Pharma so we can lower prescription drug costs for the American people. Doocy didn't have a leg to stand on, and the underhanded attempt was foiled.
In any of the meetings about this in the last 24 hours, has anybody in the West Wing heard anybody talking about the possibility of Speaker Trump?
This is something for House Republicans to figure out.
Republicans wanted McCarthy to be more of a jerk to the American people and stand in the Democrats' way to keep the government up and running. 8 Republicans joined Matt Gaetz and voted to remove McCarthy. That was all he needed to end Kevin McCarthy's time as Speaker of the House. After an entire career of wanting to be Speaker, McCarthy's dreams are shattered by a Freedom Caucus crackpot. MAGA nut jobs were angry with McCarthy, but when it came down to a vote, only a few voted with Gaetz to oust him. Fox News hosts have been kicking up a dust storm in the wake of McCarthy getting canned too. They want to assign responsibility so they can blame somebody. What they fail to mention is that the action was started by a Republican. MAGA viewers need to be told who to be angry with, and Fox has been busy trying to pin this one on Democrats instead of accepting the fact that Kevin McCarthy was a horrible speaker. Fox needs to report the truth about what a horrible job Kevin McCarthy did instead of trying to blame everyone else for his problems. Good riddance, Kevin. You were a disaster. Take Peter Doocy with you on your way out. I can assure you we won't miss him, and that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.